think I used to wear this ring on my left pointer finger, but randomly last video I decided that I'm gonna start wearing it on my right pointer finger. And now, for consistency's sake, I feel like I have to keep it there, but it feels weird. Okay. Anyway, hello everybody. I am back again with another haul video today. My name is Alicia of Alicia Craft, and this haul is going to be all the stuff that I kind of hinted at in my last haul, but did not have time to get through. Also, I just wanted to thank everybody who responded to my little sneak on Instagram that I did of just basically a picture of all the stickers from the last haul. I just kind of posted that on stories without any text explanation and just kind of sneaking my return, and I got a lot of like positive feedback about that, people being excited and like asking how I was. So I wanted to thank everybody who reached out. It's definitely making me even more excited to return to planning. And I did also get some people expressing the sentiment that, yeah, it definitely does feel like everybody has left. But we're gonna change that. We're gonna hopefully revitalize the interest in the planning world and get people excited about it again, even though I know a lot of people just don't have time. But still, we're gonna at least be talking about stickers all the time. We're gonna at least make it a big part of our lives, even if we can't always lay them down. So let's get into it. This is gonna be the big SPC haul. So I have two giant stacks to go through. One of them is mystery kits only from like the past year, and this one is non-mystery kits. So we'll go over the non-mystery kits first to give you guys time to watch all of these, and if you don't want spoilers for the mystery kits, you don't have to watch that part. But I think I kept the foil with all of these. I think I am kind of like gonna make a game day decision on if I'm gonna use the foil when I actually do the spread or not, because I know I said in my last video I don't really use other people's foil, and that's still like true for the most part, but I don't know, I kind of like the convenience of foil bundles for like when I don't really want to, or I don't have time to sit down and like curate all the foil from my own shop, because I print it out like per spread and that just takes a while, printing and foiling it. So I don't know, for convenience's sake I might just go with whatever Andre has like chosen to pair with these kits, and we'll see. Alright, but this is actually not just a regular shop kit. This is the 10-year, let me see, I think it says up here, 10-year kit, which is, I think this is like a Disney princess kind of sleepover kit. So it's more of like a inspired by kind of pop culture kit. So I mean, these girls are like obviously meant to represent the princesses, and I think there's more. Yeah, there's more, but not exactly. But I kind of like that as well, because it's definitely an obvious nod without, you know, being too obvious. And also it's something that hasn't really been done before, so it's kind of fun. I feel like it'd be good for a slumber party situation for like a kid, or like even a movie marathon situation. It'd be fun. There's an awful lot of beds here. That's kind of a fun setup though for a sleepover. I think these are labeled with the names of the princesses. I think we got Tiana, Belle. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get the rest of these, I don't think. If you can read the rest of these, let me know. I think that's one of those things where the details kind of got lost in the resolution of the art, but that's okay. I think we get the gist of it. I'm sure one of them's Aurora, and I'm sure there's gonna be more in there, like Cinderella maybe. We get the gist. But yeah, that's clearly supposed to be, I think that's Rapunzel actually. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say that's Rapunzel. I originally thought it was like Aurora, but she's clearly here. So this one's, yeah, with her hair, that's gotta be Rapunzel. And then that's Tiana. I mean, her shirt kind of gives that away, so got a little bit more of a hint there. And then, yeah, we have a double box scene flat lay here with, of course, I was mentioning in my last haul how anytime I see a food board in a kit, it just makes me angry because I want it immediately in real life, and it's just torture. Somebody should make it their life goal to, like, make in real life every food board that they've ever seen in a kit. Like, that would be really fun, I feel like. It would be quite a long task, but, like, how fun would it be to do that and, like, document it and then just be able to say that you've done it. Like, let's make that happen. But yeah, that looks extremely delicious. And then we got some like makeup and stuff, and there's the Cinderella movie peeking out there and the Snow White one peeking out from there. We have our princess cake, we have our balloons. That would be a good box to put a quote over, I feel like. And then this page we have our deco, we have our 2 extra full boxes and glitter headers. So there's Aurora, and then that is a champagne bottle and glass display right there. Rounded boxes, I usually discard most of this page and only use the square boxes because I only like squared off boxes. Little things, pattern labels, solid labels, and then the washi page with another balloon box. Is that the same? Oh my god, that's almost the same box. It's the same background and the same clip art. She just moved it to the left. Was that like, did she know that that was how that was? Well, that kind of makes it easy to exclude a full box because I usually try to use every single one. So there's one less that I have to try to squeeze into the spread. And then here's the extra page with the 5th color and the icons. I think this is only because this is the 10-year kit, so it's kind of formatted like a mystery, so it has all these extra pages included. And then here's the extra fashion girl. So we have Moana and Belle in there, which I'm honestly just happy as long as Belle's in there because she's my favorite. I'm kind of shocked that Ariel's not in here. Ariel's like one of the top princesses, I feel like. But she's not. And then there's like the fashion girl to represent us, not distinctly a Disney princess, which it's so funny because you can clearly tell that these were drawn like closer to the style of the Disney princesses, the way they're animated, and this was meant to be like a more realistic person. Like you can tell their faces are much smaller and their features are much smaller. It's just little details like that that are so fun and interesting to me. I don't think there's a lot of artists that do it like that. But that's a desk design art, I believe. Alright, and then let's briefly go through the foil just because it's here. This is Pink Hollow, I believe. So there's some overlay pages. The underlays are kind of a nice subtle confetti, which I like. Icons and scripts, which definitely never going to use that page. And then bottom washi date dots, date numbers. I guess they used to be called date dots way back in the day when they were on the color printed paper. And then some extra date covers and deco. And then we have, I think this is an alternate washi overlay. Yeah, in case you don't want to use the bows, you can use the crown. This is like the princess specific sheet. So we have this quote overlay. Being a princess is so exhausting, which I guess makes sense for like the summer party theme. And then this is the birthday quotes that I think are like generic from her shop that she just threw in because people are going to use this as a birthday kit. Speaking of the whole like foil versus color printed, like I'm keep trying to like figure out a way to differentiate those two in my shop because right now I'm kind of like keeping physical foil on the back burner and focusing more on color printed stuff, and I was like, how do we phrase that? Because that's like inkjet printed stuff versus like laser printed stuff, but the average person is not really going to necessarily know that foil is on like laser printed paper. So I feel like foil can be one category, even if it's like unfoiled stuff. You kind of just know that it's on clear paper. And then color printed is like on white, a white paper, and whatever is in it is actually like with ink colors on it. Like there's no foil applied to it. So that's kind of like the terminology that I'm gonna use. Maybe it'll catch on because there is some stuff I've said that catches on. I think the triplicate washi that Glam Planner did have, I think that term kind of caught on a little bit. So maybe the whole color printed versus foil will catch on, but that's kind of how I'm gonna label it in my shop. And when I make the coming back announcement, which I will have made before this video goes up, but I am going to refer to it as that, or I guess I will already have referred to it as that. So you know what I'm talking about going forwards. And if I do only have foil available for like a short time out of the month, I will say like physical foil is back in shop, and it's going to be gone for the rest of the month. But printables and color printed items will be back in shop, like full time, is I think how I'm going to word it. I have to like figure that out, and I'm just going to hope people know what that means. If you have like a better suggestion for that, let me know. All right, next for regular shop items. Again, these are not sorted, same as last haul. I did not sort these by category. It's just going to be kind of a fun random surprise what type of kit I pull out next. So this one is actually a brunch kit. This is August 2020. Oh, is this a mystery pile? No, it's not. This one is just randomly in here for some reason. Okay, you got a little spoiler of the August mystery of last year, because this was in the wrong pile. Yeah, that's wild. How did that even happen? That was the first one in that pile. How did I mess up on the first one? All right, we're gonna vet these before showing them, because clearly I can't be trusted with that anymore. All right, this one is Screamathon. I know for sure this is not a mystery. This was her like exclusive Halloween art last year, which is so awesome. Love these colors for Halloween. They're like a lot darker, and there's a lot more of this blue incorporated than you would normally think of for like a Halloween kit. I feel like the purple and orange are like for sure, but I feel like it's more of a green that's paired with those colors than the blue. So I'm loving the blue, even though it's not my favorite color for sure. But I just like the fact that it's different from the huge. And I like that it's dark, so it still has those dark, spooky vibes. But yeah, this is like a Halloween movie marathon kind of kit, of which I have many, and I'm very happy to add this one to it. I always like to kind of get ideas for what movies I want to watch for the season based on whatever movies they feature in the kit. And this is kind of fun, because this is like a little blockbuster scene right there, which harkens back to the old days. I'm 28, so I feel pretty young, but I'm still old enough to have been around when Blockbuster was a thing, and I have been inside a few Blockbusters in my time when I was really young, but they were there before Netflix and streaming and all of that. It's so crazy that I grew up before all of that. So yeah, I'm definitely a part of history. But yeah, I remember that very well. And we have our double box scene of like the front walk of the house with these interesting purple lights, which are like Christmas lights, but I guess here they're Halloween lights, which I guarantee you people are doing that. This is really cute too. This is Halloween Beanie Babies, which again, that's something that was more of a thing during my younger years, my very younger years. So we got a little bit of 90s theme going on here, I feel like. Including that little doll. I feel like that's kind of an older thing as well. What is he supposed to be? Man, he reminds me of like a Sesame Street character. I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows who he is. Anyways. What is that movie on that screen? I'm very curious about it. And is that clip art that was drawn specifically for this, or was that from another kit? Because I feel like that was from another kit. Somebody knows, I'm sure, and if you could comment below, that would be awesome. Alright, we have a clothing flat lay here with some VHS tapes, which again, definitely a throwback. This one is Ernest Scared Stupid, which I don't think I have seen. And then I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I have not seen either. And then some Goosebumps books, which I think... Oh yeah, that one's Night of the Living Dummy, which is my #1 favorite Goosebumps book. I only liked the ventriloquist dummy books, which there were a few actually. There were some sequels to that one, Night of the Living Dummy. And I think the ventriloquist dummy's name was Slappy. And those are my absolute favorite. I don't know why. I read like most of the Goosebumps books. I feel like I didn't do any Fear Street. That was after my time. But I definitely enjoyed the Slappy books the most. I literally want to go back and read them now, just for nostalgia's sake, because I do read middle grade books still. I enjoy middle grade books probably the most, but I feel like Goosebumps original books might be too young for me, but just for nostalgia's sake, I want to read them again. All right, and then we have our little candy flat lay over here with a Walkman. Oh my goodness, the 90s influence in this kid is insane. Did she mention that, like, when she did the new release video? I feel like she must have, and I just, like, forgot. I knew some cassette tapes would appear as well. When I saw the VHS tapes, I was like, that's not the only tape it's going to appear. I did have VHS tapes and cassette tapes. Absolutely. I didn't have a Walkman, but I did have a portable, like, kids CD player. Like a portable one with little headphones that you could just walk around with as, like, a wee little kid. But I did have a cassette tape player as part of my radio. My radio could play both CDs and cassettes, and the radio, of course. I tried to, like, I think I had one and then I got it replaced, and I tried to bring that one back for Aurora when I brought all my art supplies back last year from my parents' house in Texas. But it didn't survive the journey and it broke, which is very sad. So she will not be able to play CDs or cassettes until we buy her another one. But she's like a Spotify girl, so she don't want that. She just wants her Spotify. And I'm like, yeah, that was not around in my time either. All right, let's see how many more tens of minutes we can talk about this one page. Y'all are getting me on caffeine, which I know is what you sign up for when you watch my hauls. Okay. I haven't even gone through this movie stack yet, which you better believe I'm going to have commentary on every single thing in here. There's also a lava lamp, which, fun. I don't think I had one as a kid, but I definitely knew that they were a thing. Scream, I have not seen. It's on my list. I know there's a separate Scream kit. So I am going to watch the movie and use that kit at some point. I will. It's just not one I've seen yet. Nightmare on Elm Street, haven't seen that either. And there's a lot of classics from, like, every genre that I just haven't seen. I've seen a lot of movies, but there's also a ton I haven't seen. And I say that about everything. That's true of books as well. Halloween, obviously. I have seen that one. I have seen a few, both old and new. Friday the 13th, same. I've seen both, some old and some new. And then The Thing, I have not seen. I want to. Children of the Corn. Oh my gosh, I love Children of the Corn. I think there's an old and a new, and I think I've only seen the new, but I'm obsessed with it. I want to watch that again, actually. Like, I would watch that today. Oh my god, Hellraiser, I would watch that any day. Like, I'm always down to watch Hellraiser. I don't know why. It, like, disturbs me, but that's what I like. Like, that's what I'm here for. That's the type of movie I want to watch. I watched that movie around the same time I watched the movie Cube, and, like, I have associations because of that, because I liked Hellraiser so much. I feel like I like Cube more than it's actually good. It's a great concept, but I feel like they just didn't do enough with it. But those two movies I recommend if you're kind of interested in, like, mildly disturbing for Cube versus, like, extremely disturbing for Hellraiser. But, yeah, I want to watch that tonight, actually. I'm probably going to download it. Child's Play. We did watch that as a family. I don't recommend watching it if you have, like, I think she was 11 at the time. I think you gotta wait till your kid's older before watching it, because there's a lot of profanity and just inappropriate actions. Like, Chucky is a little bit inappropriate, unfiltered, a little bit lewd. So that, I feel that was kind of a mistake, but honestly, I don't think that scarred her at all. And she had seen some other stuff too. Like, she wasn't completely innocent, and I think she's okay with that. But as for how much I enjoyed it, I did actually enjoy it quite a bit. Not as much as I hoped I would, but it was good. We did watch all of them. I think there's a lot. There's like 6 or 7. They were pretty good. And then Pumpkinhead. I don't think I've seen that one. I definitely don't think I've seen Pumpkinhead. I need to, like, add these to a list. We're gonna make it happen. But I'm really glad Hellraiser was on here. I did not expect to see that. I don't even consider that a Halloween movie. That's just like a horror movie. Alright, next we have Deco. We have our 2 extra boxes, which is, of course, a person in a ghost costume, which is really fantastic to do that when you want to include, like, a fashion person without, you know, too much skin tone, hair color showing, so you don't, you know, need to provide that many options. And then we have the classic, like, trick-or-treat bucket. I think I definitely had a bucket one year. It was orange, though. But, yeah. My goodness, brings back memories. And then, like, the vampire teeth as well. I think those are clear, but I think I saw them being white, typically. And there's glitter headers on that page, or rounded boxes, which I hate. Little things. What do we got? We got pattern labels, solid labels, washi, and then another stack. All right, get ready, guys. We're going over the stack, too. Okay. Halloween Town. Yes, I've seen all of them. They're cute, but I feel like if I had seen them as a kid, I would have enjoyed them a lot more than as an adult. It's almost a little bit too kiddish for me. Casper and Wendy. Casper and Wendy? What Wendy are we talking about? I didn't know there was a Wendy involved. I've seen Casper, which is very cute, and I do like it, even though I did see it as an adult. Huh. Oh, I think that's the original Casper. No. Casper, A Spirited Beginning. How many Casper movies are there that I've never heard of? Do we recommend these? Do I need to watch these if I've only seen Casper? Are these, like, animated Casper? Because I've only seen the live action, and it looks like that's, like, a little animated Casper right there. Are these, like, kids' movies? Somebody explain these to me. Trying to figure out if this is, like, the kids' movie stack, but I don't think it is. The Witches. I think I've heard of that, but I've not seen it. Spooky House. Never heard of it. When Good Ghouls Go Bad. Haven't heard of it. Tower of Terror. I think I have seen it. I think I saw it when I was very little. Don't remember anything about it. I remember the ride. Very much so. Because it was the first ride that, like, scarred me for life. Don't remember the movie. Addams Family. Thank God that's there, because I'm, like, kind of obsessed with Addams Family, I gotta say. The original ones. More than the animated ones. Double Toil and Trouble. Haven't seen that one either. I think I have heard of it. A lot to add to my list. And then I picked up this fashion sheet, which is Fam 2. As usual, I typically get Fam 2. We have the girl with the Andrea hair right here. I think she's a brunette now. She changes her hair, like, every year, I feel like. But this is, like, her default split dye hair with a little Exorcist shirt on, which is a nice reference, even though that was, like, the most boring movie in the world to me. And then there's our fashion people, and then tall fashion girl with the Scream mask, but, like, a very, let's just say, appealing outfit otherwise, which I love. Okay. I keep, like, reaching for the wrong pile because I have these two piles next to each other. So I think we're in the right one here. Next kit is Fall Vibes. I think this was her fall exclusive one. I'm pretty much all of the kits you're going to see in this first pile, well, and the second one too, obviously. They're pretty much all exclusive. I don't really buy kits from her that are non-exclusive unless, like, nobody else has used them, or in rare cases where I like her format or her, like, full box layout better than other shops, because I do have 2 other printable shops that I go to first for, like, generic kits. So yeah, you're mostly just gonna see custom exclusives. But yeah, love these. I love this deep green color. Like, I'm a green girly. I like dark greens more than anything. I like a good emerald green, but this is more like a kind of a hunter green, I want to say. I feel like every time I try to specify a color, I'm probably way off, but that's not going to stop me doing it. You know me. Hauls are, like, the one video where I love being wrong in. Like, I will not look anything up. I refuse to. You're going to get my raw, authentic, unfiltered self in hauls. So, to me, that's what I imagine hunter green to be. Somebody show me a color theory book so I can, like, study up on that. But in the meantime, you're going to get whatever my preconceived notions are. I was going to say preconceptions are. Same thing. But yeah, love that. Especially paired with, like, this particular orange. Orange is my least favorite color. I hate orange. But a nice dark orange for fall works. And it works very well with this green. So I'm vibing with that. Love this double box scene especially. You know me. I love house exteriors and interiors. Or, like, building exteriors and interiors, and that one is no exception. It's very symmetrical, which I love. Love the pumpkins lining the walkway. in nice wraparound porch. I'm vibing with that for sure. We have our fashion girl up here, our book flat lay, classic, pumpkin spice candle and clothing over here, clothing flat lay. It's really hard to identify what items of clothing these are. I know that's pants. What is that and what is that? Pretty sure that's like a jacket. Interesting. I don't know. This really cute doggy right here. That's a well-drawn doggy. I like that one. And then this like bedroom interior with a bookshelf right next to it. I would be like concerned about having that bookshelf so near the bed, because if I stretch out my arms, I'm gonna knock over a whole shelf of books. That's just what's gonna happen. All right. Next we have deco, glitter headers. Oh, is this a Thanksgiving kit? I think this is like, you can use it for Thanksgiving if you want to kit, and that's what this box is for. Because we got every single Thanksgiving dish ever invented in one single full box here. Let's see what I can recognize. Turkey, I think that's mashed potatoes. That may be like rolls, pumpkin pie. These both look like different forms of carrots, but I'm probably wrong about something. Maybe one of them sweet potato. Green bean casserole. Is this like ham or some other kind of sliced meat? Not too sure what that is. Not too sure what that is. Pretty sure that's gravy. Cranberry sauce is like everywhere. Let me know if my guesses were right. And then we have a record player, I think. Hang on, I put that back in the wrong spot. Then we have our evil rounded boxes page. Little things. I don't like using dark colors for little things because you can't write on them, but I mean, this would be okay. You could use like gold foil with and use gold scripts over that. Pattern labels, solid labels. What do we got? Bottom washi. And then a close-up of the books for that box, which would be good to put a quote over. And then the freebie is like an upright or overhead view of the person's arm carrying books under their arm. What books are these? The Alchemist, which is a good book, by a Brazilian author, which is fun for me because I'm Brazilian. Paulo Coelho, that's how you say that, I'm pretty sure. The Dark is Rising, and Green Witch by Susan Cooper. Never heard of those. And then Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which I think I may own that and just haven't read it. I think I stole it from my mom because I think she read it for like a book club, and I just like was like, I'm gonna read that too at some point. I just never did, and I still have the book, I think. But honestly, I think she's also kind of like taken over my bookshelf as well. So I have like probably close to 800 books there, and I think she's just also using the shelves because that's like a little library upstairs in her house. So until I move my books over, it's just our combined library. All right, this next kit is cruising for a bruising. Now, if you know me from previous videos, which I wouldn't expect you to remember anything about me, but if you keep notes for some reason, you will remember me saying multiple times that I hate cruises. I don't have really good experiences with some of the more recent cruises I've done. When I was a kid, they were great. And then when I grew up a little bit, I got motion sick and also learned that I kind of hated the sea, hated water. And the combination was not great. So that means cruises are my least favorite way to travel. It's good in concept, but I would much prefer if the cruise was like, or if the cruise ship was like a train. If you had everything a cruise ship has to offer, but you put it on like a train, I feel like that might be a little better. But honestly, I think the motion problem would still be there. I like to remain stationary. I'm old. My inner ear gets vertigo at the drop of a hat, and can't do this stuff anymore. I can't do like rides at the theme park either, which is very sad. So tell me why I got this kit, because this exclusive art is, I mean, honestly, the reason if you get right down to it. But also because it's probable that I will probably go on another cruise at some point in my life, especially because neither my partner nor his daughter have been on a cruise, and I feel like they may want to at some point. And also, my extended family, the ones who always do the cruises, we still potentially have plans to do like an Alaskan cruise. Like, there's still some stuff on the bucket list there, so it may come up eventually. So we'll keep this just in case. If not, I will find a movie that features a cruise ship, Hotel Transylvania 4, I think, and we'll just go with that. Anyways, let's go through it. So yeah, we're double box scene of one of the dining rooms, which I do admit they have great views in the restaurants on board. Here's another double box scene with a view of the cruise ship in the distance from an island. And we have our bathing suit flat lay, a buoy flat lay, suitcases here and drinks here. We have deco. And then glitter headers and a double box scene of a dolphin, which is fun. Rounded boxes, little things, again, very dark blue there. Patterned labels, solid labels, bottom washi, and palm fronds. I feel like there's a lot less clip art in this kit than you would find in most kits, but that'd be good for a quote box, let's just say. I knew it. I knew it was clip art kits. I just had a feeling. You can always tell by her fashion people. Here's another double box scene of the deck, which again, great for a quote. And then I chose Fam 2 as usual. And here's our fashion people and the cute little kids. So that is cruising. And next looks like we have some pop culture stuff coming up. So this one is Coco, which not my first Coco kit, and it's also not even my first Coco kit by ScribblePrintsCo. I think her first one was probably Remember Me. But this is a more recent one, and I will gladly, happily add it to my collection because I love Coco. It's literally one of my favorite, like, Disney movies, you know, overall. Definitely love it. So I will definitely be watching it multiple times in my life. So there's Miguel. What is that guy's name? Why do I not remember that? This is a movie I enjoy very much. Hector. I think it's Hector. And then there's obviously Mama Coco right there. And then the dog is Dante. Don't ask me why I remember Dante's name before Hector, because I do not like Dante. I think those types of dogs are like the ugliest. But yeah. It is what it is. We have our ofrenda there. And then we have the scene here of the Land of the Dead with all of the very brightly colored buildings. I can imagine that scene took a million years, so props for that. I mean, all this art is beautiful. The freebie is also an extra double box scene of the bridge of marigolds, I think. We have our deco here. Plenty of marigold petals there, which I love. Our glitter headers, and then... Okay, I'm definitely never going to remember this guy's name, but he's like the villain. And then the photo, like the family photo of Hector when he was alive. And we have rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids. Oh, I love the papers for the bottom washi. And then this, I think this is like a close-up of the ofrenda for that full box, and that'd be great to put a quote over as well. And then next we have Winnie the Pooh, which also is not her first Winnie the Pooh kit. I think the first one was Oh Bother, which I also have, but this is yet another redo of a theme that she's had Nelly do. But yeah, I mean, I love all of it. I will take any of it. I'm a pretty big Winnie the Pooh fan. It is not out of the question that I will be watching another episode or one of the like original animated movies of Winnie the Pooh at some point in my life. So I'm just keeping this on hand for that. I did love watching the Winnie the Pooh show on VHS. Like, we had quite a lot of that, and that's what I grew up with. So very good memories with that. So we have Pooh, Piglet, Rabbit, Tigger, Eeyore, Christopher Robin, and then a double box scene of the inside of Pooh's house with endless honey. Here we have the deco page, glitter headers. There's Owl and Kangat and Roo. There is a rounded box page, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi. That's really cute with the honey drip, and then the grass. And then there's Pooh's butt, which I think is supposed to look like a heffalump there. I forget exactly what the context was, but I remember that episode. And then our freebie is a map of the 100-acre wood. And then the extra boxes, which I think I purchased separately, are of the outside of Pooh's house. You have a double box scene. We have the beehive, and then a close-up of his honey jars. Okay, so that was Winnie the Pooh, and then next we have a kit for Moana 2, which actually is perfect timing because we finally watched it as a family, I think last week. There's a lot of stuff that happened last week that I'm gonna have to like pick what I'm gonna use the kit for, because a lot of like unusual stuff happened. So that'll be a choice. But yep, I think this kit came out like way before the movie, so I don't know how much stuff is gonna be like accurate to the movie, but I think it's gonna be good enough. I mean, we have Moana in the new outfit that she wears. We have Pua and Hei, of course, Maui, the whale shark, which is super cool. It's only like very brief in the movie, but it's very cool. And then I have a double box scene of like her island and the boat. I forget what it's called. It's a specific type of boat that they use. And then there's the kakamori, I think, the little coconut dudes, which do factor in like very, very hugely into the movie. And we have our deco, glitter headers, double box scene featuring her oar and his hook, which are very important. Rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi, and then just a box of the water, so you could put a quote over that. And same with these two as well. I think this is the freebie. Just another view of the boat, and then another view of the island. And that is Moana 2. I did like it. I think a little better than the first one, but I just really didn't like the first one. Alright, next we have Bambi, which I think I've seen Bambi probably once in my life, so I definitely would have to see it a second time to use this kit, but I'm happy to do so. I know that's Bambi and that's Thumper. I think that skunk is named Flower. I'm not entirely sure. Those might be Bambi's parents. Definitely not going to remember the name of the owl. But yeah, very, very cute, naturey sort of kit. Deco on this page, which clearly you can tell there was not a lot of clip art. It was a very character heavy kit, so that's all you get in the deco. I think that's his girlfriend or whatever, even though he's like a little kid, I think, in the movie. And then some bird. I don't know if that bird is a big character or not. Rounded boxes, little things, solids. No, that was patterns. This is solids. Bottom washi, and then another kind of phoned in full box on the washi page, which is just greenery. Get a quote on that and on this, and maybe even on this too in the freebie. That is Bambi. And the next we have Parent Trap. I'm kind of glad that I waited to haul like all of these kits, because there's a lot of kits in here that I had not seen the movie for until now, like until way after I had originally purchased them, including Parent Trap. I hadn't seen it when I first picked up the kit, but I knew that I probably would want to at some point. Or maybe I think I got it way after it came out, and it was like a pop culture bring back, and I only purchased it because I had seen the movie. I think that's the case for this one specifically. But yeah, we did see it. It was cute. And it's that one where Lindsay Lohan plays the twins, who are trying to get their parents back together, and it works. So there's all the characters right there. That's their dad, and then that's, I think, the dad's like employee. I'm not entirely sure exactly what she does, but she's like a great character. We like her. I don't know why rounded boxes is next. I feel like a lot of these are out of order. Little things. There's the page I was looking for. So this is glitter headers, and then that's their mom. That is like the butler at the mom's house. I forget, but like they obviously end up together. And then we have our patterns, solids, deco, and then some extra half boxes. This is when she was doing the half full boxes thing, which is very funny. I think she had too much clip art and didn't know what to do with it. But, was this when they, like, went camping, I think? Possibly. And then, yep, that's a scene where the parents are seeing each other. I think maybe for the first time in a long time. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. Bottom washi page, there's the two girls right there who are both Lindsay Lohan. I don't know how they filmed that. And then the freebie is, oh yeah, that scene where they put all the furniture from the camp on the roof of the building. There are a lot of pranks going on at the beginning. Okay, and that is Parent Trap. Next we have Wicked, which, again, I saw this movie, like, very late, like, December of last year. So now I can explain to you what these things are, which is great. This is very beautiful art, by the way. I did love Wicked quite a bit. I loved the musical, but I did love the movie even better, I think. It was a very long movie to be just like an introduction to the plot of Wicked, I feel like. I felt like there was a lot of world building that never really, like, followed through, but I'm hoping that it does in part 2. Like the whole bit with the animals. Definitely want to see where that goes. Could not possibly care less about Elphaba. And Glinda really either. I'm more interested in everything else, I feel like. Like, the dudes are kind of interesting. But it was good. It was kind of very sad to see Jeff Goldblum play the role of the wizard, because he was just not a good character. Like, there was, I mean, he's not meant to be a good character, but there was also, like, no redemption for him, so I apologize if this is spoilers. Spoiler alert to me talking about the movie, but I mean, the book's been out for forever. The musical's been out for forever. But yeah, so that's Elphaba, Glinda, Fieri, I think, the prince or whatever. Madame Morrible, I think, the magic teacher. That's the Wizard of Oz, obviously. That's Elphaba's younger sister, whose name I'm never gonna remember. And then that's the two girls in their room that they share. You can tell which half is which. And okay, there was 0 clip art for this kit, as you can tell. This is all shapes for the deco. I don't know if I'm gonna even use those. I don't think I could. Yeah, all of the characters and scenes, because we have the classroom interior scene there, and then it's the exterior of something. I want to say that's like the goat teacher's house, maybe. And then we have round boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi, with the flower field, which will be good for a quote. Same with the freebie boxes, which are a close-up of the blackboard and the yellow brick road, which is kind of fun. And then I picked up even more extra boxes, which are this combination of both the flower field and the yellow brick road. These look like just close-ups of other boxes that you've already seen. Maybe that one too. And then, did I pick? I think I may have picked this up. I'm not sure. I can't imagine that it would have already come with it. But, this is the, like, Elphaba scribbler sheet. I can't imagine that I would have picked that up either, because I don't do her scribblers. But maybe I just thought it would be fun to use just for this week specifically. But yeah, that's Wicked. And then we're taking a break out of pop culture for a little bit to go over this kit, which is Grad. I think I got this to use for my bestie Sage's graduation. I think I already marked her graduation from undergrad, and this I will use for her master's graduation. So, because I didn't have any grad kits otherwise, I don't think. I used one for my graduation way back in the day, from college, like right at the beginning of when I was planning, and just haven't needed a grad kit any other time, so I did pick up this one specifically for her. But yeah, I like this color scheme. I think this may have been offered in a few color schemes, I'm not sure. But I do like this one, it's very muted. So we have our grad cap, presents, cake, balloons, of course, champagne, the interior of the decorated living room. Then we have our deco, some clothing flat lays, which seem very random for the theme. And those full boxes. We have our rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solid, and then bottom washi, and this is, I think, like an arch decoration. That'd be good to put a quote over. And then we have the hand with the grad cap freebie, and then also a hand with the diploma as well, and another balloon box that would be good for a quote. So that is grad. And then let's go back to pop culture for the next couple at least. We have the Aristocats here, which I don't think it's my first Aristocats kit. I think I have like a Marie themed kit from SPC and maybe from Keytown, I think. But I like this one because it's all of them. I mean, Marie obviously is a whole aesthetic on her own, but I do love the fact that this kit is for the whole movie because I love the whole movie very much. Am I gonna remember which is which cat? Probably not. I know Marie. I know one of these guys is Berlioz. I think they all have French names, and I think Toulouse is one of the other ones. And then Thomas O'Malley. He has like a whole song with his name in it, so I had to like. And I think that's Duchess. I'm pretty sure. And that is the double box scene of the interior of the little room that they stay in. Whichever one that is. I think that's Berlioz. He's playing the piano. And I think Toulouse is painting. Which I think they're like named after famous French like artists of some kind. So Berlioz was probably a composer and Toulouse was probably a painter. And then that's Edgar. And the only reason I know that the mouse is named Edgar is because that little cracker that he's rolling, he like puts it in cream or something and he calls it crème de la Edgar. And that's like his little snack, which I've heard people on the internet making that recipe and apparently it's good. A Ritz cracker and cream, who knew? Then we have our deco here, which again you can tell very character heavy kit, so for some reason bows comprise most of the deco. And we have a double box scene of like a little armchair situation. I'm not entirely sure what relevance that has to the plot. I don't really remember it. We have glitter headers on that page. We have our rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi with the butler, the evil butler who like tries to steal their inheritance. I don't remember his name either. And then we have the tall box, which is the kittens stacked on top of each other, which is very cute. Very cute. So that is the Aristocats. And then next we have the Burrow, which is definitely not the first and definitely not the last Harry Potter kit from SPC. There's one in my cart right now that I think was from a Pop Culture Bring Back. I'm not going to spoil what it is. And then she also has two more, but I think I got that art from somebody else. But Harry Potter is still going strong in the planner community, obviously. I do love a good Burrow specific kit. I actually have, I think, a couple others from other shops as well. It is definitely an aesthetic. So here we have the family members. Not all of them, of course. There are quite a few. But we have Molly and Arthur Weasley and Ron and Ginny. And the flying Ford Anglia, of course. The walk scene with their house there. That would be good for a quote on that side. The pan scrubbing itself, which is goals. And then Scabbers, which he does not need to be in this kit. He really does not. And then one of their wands. Deco, which again, very character heavy kit. Fred and George. Why do we have two full boxes of the same person? Rounded boxes, little things. Pattern labels. solids if they ever let me reveal them. There they are. Bottom washi. And then I love this scene of the interior of the like living room with the magical grandfather clock that shows where each member of the family is at any given time, which is so nosy. Definitely prevents them from sneaking out, which we know because that's a plot point. And then the knitting that knits itself, which is very cool. And then the tall box, which is just the house. So I think you would choose whether to use the tall box or this double box scene, which honestly I feel like we don't need this whole half of the double box scene. I feel like just that tall box would do. So that may be the vibe for what I do. Okay, next we have some Disney, like park stuff. This is Magic Kingdom, which apparently is not her only Magic Kingdom like named kit, because in her pop culture bring back she like had one with an asterisk by it, but I think I also already have somewhere. So this is the second one, but this one is just the theme park in general, nothing super specific, I don't think. Which I do love, and I love the like muted color scheme of this as well. Normally I'm not a big fan of this artist's style, but I think it really works for all of these scenes. Like I think her scenes are pretty decent. So yeah, we have, I think that's Main Street right there, I'm pretty sure, which I do want to go back to. It's stuff like that I would want to go back to Disney for, just like the scenery in the shops and just the vibe. I just want to be vibing. I don't want to like throw up after going on a roller coaster. I just want to eat the food, find a nice place to sit and look at all the aesthetic, even though it's going to be crowded and I'm just going to be watching crowds of people walk by. But I don't know. This kit embodies like what I would enjoy in a Disney park experience. All right. I think my mic has not time until now, so sorry for the first 5 minutes of this new clip. I did have to start a new clip because my phone's memory only holds about 45 minutes of video at once now, so we're dealing with that. But yeah, we also have Rapunzel's Tower, I guess. I didn't think that was part of the parks, but there it is. There's the famous statue of, well, actually, that's not the famous statue of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse, which is a different statue entirely. It looks like this one is of him and Minnie, maybe? I didn't know that was a thing, actually. And then there's a carousel. Is that King Arthur's carousel, I think? I'm pretty sure that's the name of a carousel somewhere. And then that is what looks like a fountain that looks maybe Cinderella themed. I don't know a lot of these places because it's been a long time since I've been to Disney, and that was when I was a kid. Also, I think I went to Disneyland more often, I believe. That looks like a wishing well. But all these places look very aesthetic. And once again, no real deco because this was all scenes. We have a couple more scenes. We have a double box scene of Space Mountain, and I don't know what that is exactly. Not sure. But I love the colors of this kit too. Again, love the muted aspect of it. Little things, patterns, solids, double or washi page. And yes, that's the statue I was talking about of Walt Disney and Mickey. So I'm glad that's in there as well. And then fifth color. Why is there a fifth color and a deco page in here? This was not a mystery, I don't think. That's interesting. But yeah, fifth color and deco. And then extra full boxes. I think I may have picked these up separately. We have a tall box scene of the castle, which love. I love anytime the castle appears in a kit. And then another statue. I don't know what that is of, though. If you know what that statue is, let me know. And then here we have one of the Disney cast members, they call them, instead of employees, holding all the Mickey balloons. So that is Magic Kingdom. I'm just going to add it to my Disney, I think it's a Disney section, but it might as well be a Disney binder at this point for the number of Disney kits I have. Despite not having gone to any of the parks in like the last 15 years of my life. And the same will be said for this one, Magical Boo, which is like the Disney Halloween kit. I think I didn't pick this up at first because I was like, I'm not gonna, like, I have already, I think, at least one Disney Halloween kit, and the odds of me going for multiple Disney Halloweens in the rest of my life are very slim. But I just couldn't resist this art, and honestly, I'm just gonna use it. You know, if I don't go to Disney for Halloween, I'm just gonna use it just for any Halloween. It'll happen. because it's such good art. But yeah, I think Disney's Halloween party changes like every a few years or so what they call it. I think Oogie Boogie Bash may have been the latest one, or maybe that was the one before they just recently changed it. I don't know. But that's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. Oh, I think Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party was another one. I don't remember which order they were in. But it's a big thing, and they like change their events for each one. So we have Mickey and Minnie there, their little outfits, clothing flat lay, book of signatures, which is a classic. You have to do that when you go. It's either that or pin trading or both. The walk scene of like the giant Mickey pumpkin. Here we have a Mickey pumpkin full of sweets, and then we have a little Lilo and Stitch like snow globe situation, little clothing flat lay, and then this delicious looking popcorn box, which is Zero's doghouse, which is very cute. The tall box is of the castle, which again, love a good castle with the fireworks. Beautiful. I mean, this art is so good. And then the deco. We have glitter headers and the soul box scene, which is of Cars Land. And rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids. Bottom washi. Oh, I love this washi in particular. And then this full box with, what is that? I think it's luggage. And then that's probably like one of the Loungefly backpacks. But yeah, Magical Boo, couldn't resist the art. Alright, this next one you will know. You will understand if you know anything about me. Alice in Wonderland is my favorite, like, fictional anything. Book, movie, like you name it. Well, it's not actually my favorite movie, but it is my favorite book duology, let's say. My top favorite. And I do enjoy various iterations of the movie. There's a few that I enjoy. Some more than others. But this is a nice classic kit. I think this is Clip Art Kits, I want to say. I don't think there's any, like, people, like, human people. But I want to say that that's her, like, art style. Pretty sure. If I had to stake money on it, I would stake money on it. But yeah, it's very accurately drawn, like, to the Disney movie, so obsessed, obviously. I don't know what it is about Alice in Wonderland that, like, gets me. Because usually I don't like things that don't make sense, but, like, for some reason it just, like, connected with me in a way that I cannot describe. And there's a lot of wordplay in the book, which I like very much. And I like how there's a certain sense to it that I can't really explain. And there's a lot of, like, profound wisdom in there as well. But I also like kind of how frustrating it felt as well, because it was a dream, and things that happened were, like, she tried so hard, and yet she still could not achieve the things that she wanted to achieve because it's a dream, and dream logic doesn't make sense. And I, like, really felt that frustration, and it was hard to, like, get through it, like, as a kid especially. It's hard to, like, come to terms with the fact that sometimes you can try as hard as you can, and there's still things that are going to be out of your control. But then it kind of opened up new doors to her. And, like, especially at the beginning of when she entered Wonderland, like, she kept, you know, she was trying to get through the keyhole to the Queen's Gardens, and she couldn't do that. And instead, she ended up at the caucus race, and then eventually, towards the end, she ended up at the Queen's Gardens. So she got there in a very roundabout way. But, like, you know, when one door closes, you know, literally and figuratively, another door opens, and it was kind of a lesson in that. I didn't mean to get all philosophical here, but I did minor in philosophy, so I'm gonna get philosophical every now and then. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I love Alice in Wonderland. And the music is fantastic. The songs are so wonderful. Like, truly, I can quote them to this day. Specifically The Walrus and the Carpenter. That's the one that I know the best and like the best, but they're all good. So here we have Alice, Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, the White Rabbit. There's the Mad Hatter's little tea party, Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Deco. Yes, Absalom, the blue caterpillar, who I tried to do a giant sculpture of when I was when I was into clay back when I was a kid, before my adult clay adventures. And I got as far as like the base sculpture without any color clay added yet. And then I was like, I'm never gonna get past this point. That's not my skill level yet, so I think I tossed it. But I was originally gonna do that. I don't know why. That's what I chose out of all the Alice in Wonderland characters. It's not what I would choose today, but that's how much I loved it even then. And then there's the dormouse and the teapot. Again, very primary colors here. I wonder how many kits use like these same 4 colors, because it seems like a lot. Somebody needs to like do some data spreadsheets on that. Might have to be me, because I have more kits than anybody. Little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi, which, speaking of the Queen's Rose Gardens, there they are. This movie just like speaks to me so much. I don't know why. Or this book and movie. And then we have some extra boxes. This one's great for a quote, of which there are many you could choose from, which I don't even know how I'd be able to choose, but I have multiple Alice kits, so I'll be good. And then the wood. What's it called? I'm not sure, but it's a wood. It's woods. All right, last kit from this pile is Bard's Tale. I think this is like very loosely like D&D based. I know she has a kit for the Dungeons and Dragons movie, but it's not by an artist that I typically buy, so I did choose to pass on that one, even though I have seen the movie since. But I think this one might be the one that I used for the movie. I believe there are some nods specifically to the movie in this kit as well. Like, I think this owl character is part of it, potentially. I remember seeing that owl character in the other kit as well, so that's why I'm kind of thinking, even though I don't really remember it from the movie. But this is the one that I will probably do for that, because honestly, I don't really see any other instance where I would use this kit either. But this one is definitely more my vibe. This is Kittenish Dress Art, so there you go. But yeah, we have a dragon here, which I'm pretty sure there's not a dragon in the movie, but that's okay. I love a good dragon anyway. That's Smaug to me, let's just say. We have our lute, which is the classic bard's instrument, I believe. Some adventures, knapsack and hat, a treasure chest, treasure map, double box scene of like a campsite. Let's just go over the extra boxes while we're here. The freebie is food based. Love that. And then I picked up Fam 2, which has a tall box of this elf girl. Let me see. I think that's the human, and that's like the halfling, because it is, D&D character classes types. Not really sure. When I played D&D with my friends, we didn't really go by the standard method. I think we just kind of made up everything as we went along, which is how we liked it. We have Deco on this page. We have the second half of the dragon. Why on earth did she not just switch these 2 boxes and then switch these 2? I don't know. We have a unicorn bunny, which that may be a character that I don't know about. Maybe from D&D lore, not sure. But obviously the dragon's going to have to be made into a double box scene there. We have our rounded boxes, little things, patterns. These are pretty patterns, of course. Jess is great at patterns. Solids, bottom washi, and then that's the orc character, I believe. Do we have a bard in here at all, or is that supposed to be the bard? Or no, I think like you can be human and a bard. I think the classes are different than the species. I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm making it up as I go along. Okay. Next, we will go into the second pile, which, like I said, is mysteries. So if you don't want spoilers on any of the mysteries, even though all the videos have been out by now, you can stop watching here. Thank you for watching and all that. And if you want to see my thoughts on the previous mysteries, then stay tuned. These are all out of order, I think. I mean, they're in kind of an order because I kind of stacked up my kits as I was getting them, like back to front. Obviously, this brunch one is out of order though, so Who knows? I think they might be in backwards order, possibly. They're in order, shall we say. Okay, let me move that pile over there so we can start a new pile. Same thing as I said earlier about the foil situation. It's all here. This is August 2024. Let's brunch. So this was a brunch kit that I accidentally pulled out earlier in the video. But yeah, do love a good brunch. Actually, if I'm gonna go out for any meal, I think I would prefer brunch more than like anything else. I mean, honestly, I'm there for the breakfast. I only ever get breakfast stuff if it's, you know, brunch. But brunch is like the time of day that I want to eat breakfast stuff. So that's the vibe for me. And then it's usually gonna be something sweet, like pancakes, French toast, waffles, crepes, you name it, I'll have it if it's a sweet breakfast option. But this all looks good too. Not really a big donut fan though. And as usual, I love interiors and exteriors. So these kitchen scenes are lovely. This color scheme, again, very muted, is nice. Fashion girl right there. We have our deco with all of our food. Some more food full boxes. I think that's mimosas. And then a waffle board, which, oh my goodness, I would love that. Glitter headers, rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi, with kind of a close-up into this scene from the kitchen. You could put a quote over that. And then extra page of full boxes and doodles. Here we have a tall box, which is a close-up of that kitchen scene, so you would choose one or the other. And then two more fashion girls there. Now, since this kit came out, she has started, maybe it was for this kit too, I'm not entirely sure, but she has started offering fashion, well, extras, mystery kit extras, like she does for normal kits, but for mysteries, available in shop for only that month. And there are extra, like, fashion people available, so she's not going to offer every single one and just send it out to people in mysteries, because then you're throwing away a lot of stickers. So she does now offer them a la carte, which is great. I kind of picked up a couple at first and then I stopped because I was like, I don't really care. I will use what's in the kit. I don't need to purchase every single month just to get that extra sheet and pay that shipping. So I will do it if it's like an extra sheet of full boxes that like is actual important stuff, not just like backgrounds or whatever. But that's typically it. For foil, she paired with it, I don't know why this, I guess she was going to do matte silver and matte gold. What is this called? Matte bronze, isn't it? It's not matte bronze though, is it? I've been away from this so long, I don't even remember the foil colors anymore. Let me sneak a peek at my, yeah, it is matte bronze. I was thinking to peek at my foil shelves over there. So yeah, so we have the matte bronze food icons, and then the actual kit is in matte silver. And I like how she kind of does like very standard kits, foil kits rather, that can be used for other things as well. But I like how subtle they are. Like, this is a nice subtle confetti theme we got going on here. Oh, this was back when she had whole reinforcers there. Or maybe this is a new format, I don't know. I don't use the whole reinforcers, so that's kind of useless to me, but that's okay. And that's brunch. Okay, next one we have in the stack is February 2024, so we're going way back to like over a year ago with this one, which I think that was probably around the time I did the most recent haul before the last one. But this is before she started labeling them other than just the month. But this is like a movie theater kit, which obviously I'm keeping because the movie theater is one of my favorite places, mostly for the popcorn. Movie theater popcorn is one of my top favorite foods, like, in general. I mean, obviously it trumps any other kind of popcorn, that's for sure. But that is one of my prime reasons for going to the theater, because I'll watch movies any old place. I'll watch them at my desk, I'll watch them in bed with the fan, and I'll watch them in a theater, especially because we can go get VIP, you know, if it's a really special movie, and get movie theater popcorn unlimited, and unlimited soft serve, which is like a god tier combination. So, my favorite thing. Unfortunately, the struggle with this is going to be that if there's a movie I go see in theaters, there's almost certainly going to be a kit already associated with that movie. So I'm going to have to use this for a movie that I don't already have a kit for, or that I've already used a kit for otherwise. So it's going to be a little harder to use it. And I have a few movie theater kits that I'm going to use those for, but we'll see. It's going to get used because this is a really good kit. Oh, also, this is the one that I have an issue with because concessions is spelled wrong. That S is supposed to be a C. So, oopsie there, but we'll just pretend we don't see that. But yeah, that's the double box scene of the concession stand. We have some popcorn and drinks here, some snacks here. Swedish Fish is my favorite gummy candy, so that's kind of nice. Although my teeth can't handle that anymore. I've have too many sweets in my time. My teeth have all rotted away and I can't do sugar anymore. And then we have two fashion people here. We have the projector and then the film reels over here. Deco. This is kind of fun. Instead of like, I think this is usually white here for these boxes. The lines, or maybe they're just the actual colors. Like that would be red glitter in there. She did like a black color for contrasting colors, so that's kind of fun. And then we have glitter headers, and then two extra full boxes. This one is movie tickets. That one is the theater, which has like little lamps in it. I think that may be one of those like dine-in theaters that are, like that you order meals at. I don't know. I've never seen a movie theater with little lamps at the seats, so that's interesting. Not sure. Then we have rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi with the popcorn like background box, which is fantastic. Fifth color, which is lovely pink, and icons, and then extra fashion people. So we have some variations of these two and of the hands, and then a tall box girl there, which I believe is the same as that one. It's just the bottom half too, so you can kind of pick and choose there. And then the foil bundle is black. I think this is regular black instead of like no, it is. There's a hollowness in there. We can't get this foil for in-house foiling. That's like a manufactured foil thing. So that's a special foil that you'd want to hold on to. Well, actually, I think I do have that one for my black. It's like a, what did I call it? I don't think I called it hollow black. But the black that I have does have that like rainbow in it, and I'm trying to look at my shelves and I can't really see. Oh, black glitter. Black glitter is what I called it. So it does have that like hollow effect, but you can't see it with normal foil lighting like what this is. You have to shine a light directly onto it to see it. So it's not as good as that foil. That's the version that we get. So just kind of be aware that that's the difference. So this one is April Mystery, and this was like the grocery store kit, which, oh my god, I'm obsessed with the grocery store. It's my happy place. That's how you know you're old. Is when you start having the grocery store as your happy place. Like, think Lois Griffin. Like, it's her happy place. So, yep. I've officially reached that stage of my life. Whew. 2 days of filming in a row. Finally getting a dry throat. But let's get into the kit. This one's really fun. I love the colors of this one. And how it's still cohesive, even though there's like so many colors present. It's still, I feel like the black kind of ties it all together. And it is, of course, amazingly drawn art. We have our double box scene of the shelves. Or the aisles, rather. And then this one of the produce shelf, which is so aesthetic. Shopping cart, some flat lays of some of the items. And then one overhead view of like the basket. And then this one with Fruit Loops. I don't know why the Fruit Loops and this ice cream are very prominently featured, but they are. Next page we have deco. Oh my gosh. We have glitter headers on this page, and for some reason this double box scene is displaying the exterior of the grocery store, and she has decided that this is the ScribblePrintsCo grocery store now, which is very funny. It made sense when she did that on the outside of like the fake planner shop in that other kit that she did, but it doesn't make as much sense outside of a grocery store. That's like, That's definitely hubris at its finest. Then we have rounded boxes, we have little things, solids, patterns, bottom washi, and then the grocery list and the notes app, which I actually don't do that there. I have a separate app that's like specifically for grocery lists. And then fifth color, not deco, icons. And then, oh, we get a whole tall box scene of the produce shelf. I think you can see more though in the full box because it's like elongated at the top for the tall box. So I think we'll stick with the full box on that. And then here's some fashion people. You get one shopping and one sitting in the cart, which, oh my god, I would hate. Because Aurora would like sit in the cart when she was like freaking 12, which she had a lot of stuff that she was much too old for. And there's reasons behind that, which are deeper than she just wanted to. But I would always be like, you're not supposed to do that. Get out of the car. You can walk. You're too old. And I would be overridden every time. And we get another black foil bundle for this one. Is this... I always hold it the wrong way. Is this the same sparkly black? No, it's a different sparkly black. The glitter is much chunkier. It's like the... It's almost... No, it's not. It's like a dotted... It's like a dot grid sparkle in there, which is kind of fun, but... This is obviously a sparkle themed bundle. So that's kind of fun for that as well. Alright, next is May Mystery. So that one was April, I think. So this one was May. So we're kind of going forwards. I think the next ones are kind of chronological a little bit. And this one is a summer camp themed one, which I got almost exclusively because of the friendship bracelet situation there. Because like I said in my last haul, I do make those sorts of bracelets. Here's a few examples. And then here's one that's like more in the style of that one. But yeah, that's like my hobby now. If you would consider stickers my job, bracelets are my hobby, and clay. But yeah, like that's what I'm here for. Aurora loves this type of bracelet, so that is representative of both of us, and I love that. Now, is there any summer camp that I could mark with this? Not really, but I'm gonna hold on to it just in case. This seems like a very like Girl Scout camp type thing. Because there's like s'mores on the fire, there's canoes, there's like racquetball of some kind, like badminton, tennis. I think that's supposed to be tennis. No idea. I'm not a sports person. The double box scene is of the cabins. We have our deco here, glitter headers, and then there's like a lantern on a couple books. Oh, there's another Goosebumps book in there. Wow. I think Jess likes Goosebumps. This is another Kidnish Jess art set, I believe, or custom art. And then that box, which would be great for a quote. Love these colors too. I think I skipped over rounded boxes. There's little things, pattern, solid. I don't know why I say it each time. I wonder how many times you can stand it before you go crazy of me just saying all the names of each sheet. You know what they are. Bottom washi page, and then this full box, which is like a little s'mores set up on the table, which I love. Then we have some fashion people, which are like various iterations of the kids. And then here's one of the counselor, and then the tall box of a sign pointing to all of the places of the camp. Fifth color, which is this nice blue color, and doodles. And then the foil bundle for that is this like fall leaves one, which I guess this is it's a summer camp. Why are we putting fall leaves with that? It's not a fall kit. It's a summer kit. Maybe it's meant to be just like outdoor leaves, not necessarily fall leaves. I don't know. It's an interesting choice. I don't know if I would do that. I think I'd save that for a fall kit. But yeah, moving on, we have June Mystery. And this one is like a RV camper type kit. which we do have an RV, but we are getting rid of it. It is just a boat anchor at this point, and it has outlived its purpose, and it's a money drain. So we're saying bye-bye to it, but maybe I'll use this for some point at which we used it. We didn't take it out on an actual trip too many times. It's had other purposes in life. But that's not to say that we won't ever take an RV trip again. Next time we'll probably just rent it instead of owning one, because they're a hassle. But yeah, I got this because we are at this point still an RV family. Even though ours is a lot bigger than this. This is more like a camper van. Ours was actually like a motorhome. But yeah, this looks like an Arizona sort of scenery right here, which I love. We have a double box scene of the interior of the RV or camper. And then we have the full box here of the couple looking out onto the scenery. That's a scene of the road. We have some flat lays, backpacks, and clothing and such. I like these muted colors as well. There was some very repetitive deco on that page. I think we ran out of items there. We have glitter headers. There's an exterior view of the van. And then a fashion person taking a photo. Rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi with another skin tone variation of the map. Fifth color, which of course is black, a color that you can't write on at all. Doodles. And then more skin tone iterations of the fashion people, and then a tall box of a girl doing a handstand for some reason. And then she included this extra fun sheet, which is like a little travel labels where you can mark where you're departing from and where you're arriving at. And then the foil she chose to pair with this was this light gold foil in a confetti pattern. So there's that. I think that would work pretty well. Alright, next we have July of last year. So yeah, we are definitely proceeding chronologically. What is this one? This one feels like pretty generic fall, I want to say. Pumpkin patch, maybe? Not really. Is it? Yeah. There's a lot of pumpkin patch elements, let's just say. What is this double box scene of? What is that building? I mean, there's tables. So like a restaurant, maybe? A cafe of some kind? Oh yeah, the Scribble Farm Cafe. Okay, we solved that mystery. And I guess there is a pumpkin patch at it. So I think that's our location. So I think we've pretty much figured that out. We have our apple cider donuts. I think that's like pumpkin bread, apples, various other confections, pumpkin pie. We have deco, glitter headers, and two other full boxes with the menu, jam, and then some bread and an iced drink. Rounded boxes. I just can't stop saying the name of each sheet. You're gonna hear it anyway. Little things, patterns, solids, washi, and this extra full box of the bread selection, which seems to be rather lacking. There seem to be kind of empty shelves there. Then we have the doodle page with alternate skin tones of the hand holding the apple cider and donut, and then a tall box with a girl with a dog, which is super cute. Extra page of fashion, which is two friends drinking and eating apple pie. So you get several versions of that, and I think it's meant to be kind of like where you can Frankenstein them if you and your friend are different skin tone hair colors, so you could just split it down the middle and mix and match. And then there's a girl sitting in a little pumpkin wagon, and a just outdoor scene that would be great for a quote. And then I picked up Fam 2 with this. This was like one of the very few that I did pick up extras on. This one is the bottom part of the tall box. So if you don't want to use the tall box, you could just use the regular full box. I'm lucky enough that is already the same skin tone hair color, so I will just be able to use that as a fall box, or tall box, a fall doll box. And then that is replacing the Wagon Girl, and then there's another additional tall box. So that's kind of fun. And then we did the same fall leaf floral bundle here with matte bronze, which that actually makes a lot more sense with this one, so we'll probably use that. And then next is September, which is the winter bookshop. This is one of my favorite kits of all time. Don't really need to explain why. I mean, it's Christmas, A. B, it's traditional colors, dark traditional colors. C, bookshop. Pretty much self-explanatory. Definitely my favorite of all time. And it reminds me a little bit of my favorite custom art kit that I did at my shop, which was the Bookish Christmas kit, which, I mean, this is kind of very similar, except this is more like bookshop themed, and that was more like reading at home themed, but I mean, the more the merrier, right? So very pleased to see this. So we have the exterior of the bookshop here, and for once she didn't name it after herself, unlike the Scribble Cafe and the ScribblePrintsCo grocery store. We have, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but we have a differently named bookshop. This looks like the Classics collection, Barnes & Noble Classics, somebody's classic collection of the classic books that all kind of are similarly styled, I think. Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Little Women, The Haunting Season, and Narnia. Fashion People there. Flatlay here with the latte, of course. Book stack here. What's in this book stack? I think I turned it upside down. Sense and Sensibility, Emma and the Snow Queen. And this kind of fireplace hearth scene there. Deco, glitter headers, and another kind of fireplace reading scene, and then hands holding drinks, rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi with the hand holding the book, and there's alternate versions of that one on this page, and a tall box girl, and doodles on that page. I almost said deco again. And then I picked up both of these, which I think this is just extra boxes, although it's labeled as Fam 1, which is definitely not. But yeah, extra boxes was with this book Christmas tree, which I had a book Christmas tree in my kit too, but it's a different one. I actually have that kit in front of me. And just for comparison purposes, this is the one that I had done, and that was the book Christmas tree that I had, so that's kind of fun. And another book Flatlay here with the Nutcracker, which is one of my favorite things of all time. That's actually, I have that in my kit too, and A Christmas Carol. And another book stack of various Christmas books there. And I did pick up Fam 5. Usually I do Fam 2, but I think Fam 5 like worked a little better for this one specifically. So we have an alternate tall box girl, an alternate version of that girl, and then this is just an extra one entirely. And for the foil for this one, she did a, I think this is her Champagne Lights, maybe. And then we did like snowflakes for the main theme, and then the extra sheet is her like reading extra sheet. That might work. I might just stick with that. Okay, so our next kit is November 2024, and this is Adventure Awaits. So this looks like a travel kit, but I think Andrea said specifically this was like a prepping for a travel kit, so like the week leading up to the departure where you're like packing and making itinerary plans. I think that's what this is meant to be for, so let's kind of see what we can gather from the activities represented in this kit. I do like the colors. It's like a very bluish gray as the main color, so very neutral, which I do think I prefer neutral kits. Neutrals and or pinks are my favorites for kits. So it is very nice, and there's a lot of like beige in here as well. Interesting arrangement of these boxes, because we don't have any double box scenes here on this first page. And usually where the fashion people would be here, we just have one right there. So definitely switching things up for this format. We do have our clothing flat lays, of course. I mean, they're present on pretty much any kit, but they would be especially pertinent for a travel prep kit to represent all the packing. There's the packing list right there. Then we have the closet interior view, of course. We have the makeup and like toiletry bag and passport on this flat lay. This one is like travel journaling, I believe. And that's kind of fun. Instead of a laptop, that is the iPad with a keyboard case, which is what I have actually. That's how I use my iPad sometimes when I don't want to bring my laptop to a place. I'll just bring my iPad in the keyboard case and just use that like that. It's pretty convenient to use it like that. And then we have an upright box of packing a purse, and then this stack of travel books in this full box. We have Chile, Australia, Africa, Ireland, Thailand, United Kingdom, Spain, Trans-Siberian Railway, and USA. And then we have our deco on this page. We have our extra boxes here with yet another clothing flat lay. And what is this box? Pointing to something on the screen. I think that's meant to be like booking reservations of some kind. So that makes sense. There's our glitter headers. Have our rounded... Sorry, I ran out of storage because I forgot to delete the last clip that was in my recently deleted folder. Oopsies. Okay, so I think we were on the little things page, and then these are all really nice light neutrals, so they're all easily writable, which I love. We have our pattern page, our solid label page, and then bottom washi with some nice marble washi there. And then yet another closet interior view. There's like 0 double box scenes in this kit. That is so weird. Wild and weird. I feel like that never ever happens. Then we have deco, not deco, I always say that, it's doodles. And then our tall box scene, which is like more on making travel plans. And then our 2 fashion people here. I feel like there's not a lot of extra boxes with this kit. And again, no double box scene, very weird. For foil, she did, I think, like regular gold, and then the travel bucket list is not in the same color gold, which is very funny, so I feel like that would be a weird mixed metal moment. But also, I feel like you gotta do like matte bronze or something with it, or matte silver actually. I'm getting matte silver vibes. So I don't know, I think I might save this bundle for something else. I always hold it the wrong way. Yeah, this might be a vibe for something else. But it's funny because the actual foil itself does not include any double box scene overlays either. So it would be appropriate. But nope, save that. And then I'll probably destash that as well. So that is, what is that called? Adventure Awaits. I'm getting down to the wire here. Next is December 2024, which is Asian Eats. And obviously this was a keeper for me just because I'm a big fan of Asian food. It's some of my favorite cuisine. I have to say, I think Japanese food like sushi, and then Indian food is probably my favorite. But there's a lot in here that I like or want to try. And I do love the color scheme as well. Love the dark reds and greens, which you would think kind of Christmassy, right? So it's interesting to see that on a like food kit. But I definitely love that Asian food gets this whole kit, which I feel like that's kind of more common than any other type of cuisine, except maybe like American cuisine. But yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, we're 2 fashion people here. And as for all the food, we have hibachi right there, which I don't like that anymore. I don't like the entertainment aspect of it, and I don't like fire, so not a fan of that. I think I can recognize that as Korean barbecue, which I do enjoy. I think that's hot pot, which I have yet to try. Here we have dumplings. I don't know quite what those are. I want to say something custardy, and not too sure about that either. We have a ramen bowl right here, which big fan of ramen and pot stickers. Love both of those quite a bit. Love boba as well. Not too sure what that is. If you know, let me know down below. And then we have our deco here, which is all very large food dishes, so you can pretty much expect to be cutting a lot of those. Our double box scene is actually on this page with the glitter headers, which I think that's a banh mi sandwich. I think those might be, they look like some kind of taco or wrap type thing. I think that's onigiri and then sushi, of course. Then we have rounded page, little things, patterns, solids. This is probably the most boring / plain bottom washi page I've ever seen. This would be good for a quote, but like I'm not too sure what quote you would do with a kit like this. I don't know. Not sure at all. And then for this page, we have the tall box scene, which is just like a close-up of the hibachi, and then 2 alternate fashion people, and then our doodles. And then, okay, I think this is meant to be, oh, she was trying out these solid underlays, because people really wanted to do solid color printed underlays. This was like back when this became a thing, especially like putting foiled underlays over these and like layering underlays that way. I don't really do that sort of thing. I like really subtle like confetti underlays. That's pretty much all I do, and I just do one, or I will layer 2 different colors of subtle confetti underlays, but like I like them to be really subtle, otherwise I think it definitely overwhelms the spread. It makes it too busy. I was looking at this full box, and I think that's just meant to be an extra like underlay if you need it, because if you use extenders you will probably need that extra one like I typically do. But yeah, I'll probably destash those underlay sets. And that is Asian Eats. Next is January 2025, so we're getting into this year finally. This is Rococo birthday, which, oh my gosh, obsessed. This like theme, Rococo, is definitely a vibe for me. Like Rococo era, Victorian era, Baroque era, give it all to me, I'm all there. And this color scheme, of course, just perfect. So I might use this for one of my birthdays, I don't know. But yeah, I think she usually does a birthday kit for January, so I got several years of subscriptions. But yeah, we have some Rococo art in the background, double box scene here of the birthday table with multiple cakes on it. Wow, and 2 candelabras. That's extravagant. We have a full box of the cake right here, one of the presents and balloons. That would be great for like a happy birthday quote, of which there are several options right here. She put the happy birthday foil sheet in here too. We have some flat lays. This one is more like food based. What is going on here? Why is the glassware on the cake? I don't know. Explain that, Andrea. I'm very confused why the glassware in the teacup is on the cake. Is that actually a cake, or is that just a plate? It's another plate on a plate, and there's just petals there for some reason. I am very confused with what's going on there. I know the macarons, that I can figure out. And then here we have a little "You're invited" invitation, I guess, that's shaped like a mirror, and then a fan and some earrings. And then this like little scene, I'm not really too sure what that is either. It's funny, I vibe with this kit just purely based on vibes, because clearly I don't know what I'm looking at in any of the boxes. I think it's like the dressing room is what I'm guessing. And then this is obviously champagne. I can see it on the label. And 2 very old-fashioned champagne glasses. Have our deco on this page. Glitter headers. Love the color scheme. My goodness, love these pastels. 2 extra full boxes. We have our tiered tray that's like a sweets tray, and then champagne truffles here and macarons, or as we should say, macarons. And then we have rounded boxes, little things, patterns, solids, bottom washi, and then this extra full box of cupcakes. doodles, and then these are the fashion. So we have our tall fashion person there, and then our 2 additional ones. That's like a very Rococo, like French hairstyle. And yeah, and then the foil was pink hollow, I believe, which does work very well with this kit, so that might be a keeper. And then the pink hollow birthday quotes sheet as well. Obsessed with that. Her birthday kits in January mysteries are usually all hits. I did sell the February one. I think that was like a thrift shopping one, which I'm not really a thrift shopper, and I didn't really like the art enough to justify keeping it, so I did sell that one right away. But the merch one I did have to keep, and this is the mermaid one. I love a good mermaid kit. I honestly should have a whole mermaid binder at this point. I have so many. They're all bangers. Mermaids are a vibe. And this one is no exception. This is dusk design art, I think. So we have our 2 mermaids here, looking very snazzy. Have our double box scene of the underwater castle, which I love any type of castle, so I vibe with that. We have some octopus tentacles here, a treasure chest here, which that's the 2nd treasure chest I feel like we've seen in this haul, and I actually have the other one as a very top part of this stack, so I can just easily grab it and compare. Oh my gosh, there's a crown on both of them. That's so funny. Gold bar in this one. That's not in this one though. And this one has a weapon that one doesn't have. So very interesting, but they are both oriented the same way. What else do we have? We have a nighttime waterfall. I actually like commented on her new release video because I saw this and then I saw the one on the washi page and I was like, did you mean to use the same one twice? Because I didn't notice that they were day and night, and she was like, oh, they're actually day and night. I was like, oopsie. So yes, day and night time, which now I'm like, what do? I'll do a little flippy box, so it can be either one. And then we have a jellyfish scene over here that would be great for a quote over that. Then we have our deco. This is new format, so she did switch things up. That's a different font for the sidebar trackers, and then there are date dots down here instead of weekend banner, which is so interesting. We're replacing like one really old like kit format element with another really old kit format element. We used to have both weekend banners and date dots and people would use them all the time, but I guess now we're transitioning away from weekend banners and back into like color printed date dots instead of foiled date dots, which is really interesting to me. I did use weekend banners and I do only use foiled date dots, but that is a-okay with me because I have foiled weekend banners and I feel like people pretty much use that exclusively anyway. Then we have our glitter headers on this page. We have a dolphin. I feel like the dolphin was in the other kit too, the cruise kit maybe. And then we have another like close-up of the coral, very similar coral there. So that'd be good for a quote. These colors are really fun. I feel like they're kind of a take on classic mermaid colors, but they're not pastel. They're like really vibrant, saturated colors. We have patterns here, very nice subtle patterns. I like the water one though. And then solids, bottom washi with that daytime waterfall scene. New date covers, which are smaller, which I do kind of love because that leaves more room for the deco. And then she also fit in a teeny tiny like washi strip up there, which have been long gone from her kits, I think. And then she had room for some more labels up there. So there's like appointment labels. Then we have our doodles and alternate fashion people. So you have like a tall box version of that girl, which you have to use because that one has her tail in it. And that's the only one. And then we have an alternate of these two, which I don't know which one I'm going to use because like that one would be my skin tone hair color. And that one just looks like Ariel. So I'm like, who do I choose? Me or Ariel? Who gets to go in the kit? I think it's probably going to be Ariel. Maybe it'll be both. Who's going to notice? I'm going to do both. Calling it now. And then the foil with this was also pink hollow, which is that a vibe? I don't think so. I'm not seeing it. I feel like maybe gold. Let me see what else she did because I see some bubbles there too. So there's pink hollow confetti, like her subtle confetti. And then we have some alternate underlay options, I believe. So you can use the confetti ones. She's like really experimenting with the extra stuff that she puts in kits, and I do love that in her mystery subscription kits. So yeah, alternate bubble underlays. And these are like gold hollow. So maybe we do gold hollow instead of just gold. so I can, well, the problem with that is that I usually use extenders, so there's going to be a situation where I have spots that are not going to have those particular underlays, but maybe I can do other gold hollow underlays. I don't know. I don't use like pattern underlays. I'm more of like a just confetti girl now, so maybe we steal the gold hollow idea and then we just do different underlays. Maybe we do like, I could just design some. I could do like confetti with some really small bubbles in there every now and then. That might be a vibe. You heard it here first. So if you see it at my shop, you know where that idea first originated. Alright, and that is it for the stack. I mean, we're caught up. That's March right there. We are caught up on all of SPC's mysteries. And I think we're caught up on all of her new releases as well that I would be adding to cart, except for the one from the Pop Culture Bring Back that you may see in the future. I have to remember to purchase it before this week is up. But yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of this haul. I do have a bunch of printables that I need to actually print, and those take a while, so it might be a little bit before the next haul, but like, y'all understand. And plus, I've given you like 2 giant hauls to hold you over for the meantime. I'm sure nobody's like waiting with bated breath. Actually, I do have some people who wait with bated breath for my hauls and like bug me if I don't release them. Bug me in a nice, fond way. But yeah, just so you know where I'm at. That's the situation with that. But yeah, I gotta get to some plan with me's now. That's what I gotta do next. Or I guess just planning some spreads and then doing some talk-throughs over them. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, and share, that would be fantastic. And I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.